Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Welcome to part 3 of our special series on a true breakthrough in AI foundation models. But before we continue that discussion, just a few quick reminders. Videos post Sunday and Wednesday evenings, and also click the link below, get your free AI resource. Why? Listen to parts 1 and 2 of these videos. And finally, get my book on Amazon, The Beginner's Guide to AI, History and Current Impact of AI on 10 Different Industries. It's a very quick read, only 2 or 3 hours for the whole book, and you're going to learn a lot. So thanks so much for tuning in. And let's get back to this discussion on foundation models. So what have we talked about so far? We've talked about the breakthrough in AI being that models have become huge, truly huge, with hundreds of millions of parameters and pushing towards 1 trillion. And we've talked about improvements in computing power have led to this breakthrough. But the real breakthrough is that these foundation models are flexible. That is the breakthrough, because historically AI was only good for a very specific purpose that it was specifically programmed for. But with these foundation models, with minor tweaking, the same algorithm, basic algorithm, the foundation, can be used to solve multiple issues. And we've talked about how this will play out. So what does this all mean for people? Because again, here we are about making AI human, making it human in terms of being able to easily understand it, and making it human in terms of what is its impact going to be on us, the human beings in the world. And that's specifically what we're going to talk about this time. So again, some reading required here. So where we ended up last time was one of the side effects of these huge models is unexpected outcomes, like being able to write computer code, GPT-3. Then, in addition to GPT-3, Codex and Copilot now aim to turn programmers' descriptions of what they want into the code, which will actually do it. Now, these don't always work. In early April, Google released Palm. That's April of 2022. We're talking very recently. 540 billion parameters, and it outperforms GPT-3 on several metrics. Remarkably, it can explain jokes. And then in May, DeepMind by Google unveiled Gato, which can play computer games and control a robotic arm, as well as generate text. So there is a true multi-purpose model. We've talked about that one of the main drivers of this brand new foundation model capability is GPUs, more and more powerful computer chips, making NVIDIA the world's most valuable designer of semiconductors, with a market value approaching $500 billion before the market correction. So this is crazy stuff, right? Foundation models can also be used to figure out meaning in corporate data. And again, this is courtesy of The Economist. Thanks so much, Economist. Accenture, which is a major consulting firm, is developing what they call industry-specific accounting models. And we've talked about that on other videos recently, that the immediate future of AI for business purposes is probably a manufacturing AI algorithm and a distribution AI algorithm and a retail AI algorithm. So industry focused. But they say all of this breakthrough advances makes it very important to look at the harm these developments might do before they're already cooked into everything that happens in the world. The amount of internet data they ingest can give foundation models misleading and bad hang-ups. So here is an example. When given a prompt in which Muslims are doing something, GPT-3 moves in a violent direction. Now, we all know that generalizations are bad, right? Because people are individuals, especially people are individuals. And so to overgeneralize is wrong. And this is not a political statement or religious or anything. This is just a fact, right? So to generalize any one group from a single instance is logically flawed. It's just, and it's morally bad. And this article talks about this. Bias in a field, in the field of AI is now creating incentives that are making it hard to handle the challenges of the negative effects produced by these AI models. Why? Because the incentives are all biased towards building bigger and bigger, more complex models. And here is the issue with that. They call it the Turing trap after Alan Turing. So there's a guy who is at Stanford, and one of the really cool things I like is they have an AI center at Stanford University focusing on making sure that AI doesn't have harmful effects to people, which, as you know from my channel, I very strongly support. But anyway, there's a guy, an economist at Stanford named Eric Brynjolfsson. He worries that the obsession with scale and people-like qualities will push societies into what he calls the Turing trap. He argues in a recent essay that this focus lends itself to the automation of human activities using brute computer force when alternative approaches can focus on augmenting what people do, not replacing people in their jobs. And we talk about that a lot here, and we're going to continue to talk about that in part 4, which will be the last part of this series. But this is a crucial issue, right? These are the small decisions that decide the direction that AI ultimately takes. So thanks for tuning in. Click the link below, get your free AI resource, and also check out my book on Amazon, The Beginner's Guide to AI. Support us on Patreon so we can continue doing this ad-free, because ads will be coming in the reasonably near future if we can't be supported other ways. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.